11.
We can't be sure it was her, Holden blasted. The troops are still searching. Let's hope they find her. Titan said. No one heard her scream? This makes no sense. Follow me. We'll get to the bottom of this, Holden scrawled before storming out of Titan's tent. I was wrapped in a blanket, rocking back and forth on the little plastic chair in the corner. Holden took 3 of the superior wolves on sight out of the tent with him. It was just Titan and I. He appeared in front of me, but I couldn't lift my head to meet his gaze. Buffy? I lowered my feet. I had cuts on my feet and grime between my toes. Titan raced to the scene of the attack after my distress call. We didn't talk. He took one look at the bloodied environment and whisked me away. The other guys on patrol had been back on base for hours, drinking and laughing. Titan was furious with them. He was too pissed to hand down a punishment, so he dismissed them for the night. Buffy? He hunched down and gripped my chin. He made me face him. His eyes were the softest I had ever seen them. I don't want it to be Susie. My voice cracked. How did you find her? He asked gently. I sniffled. I could see her mutilated body when I closed my eyes. The scent of blood would follow me everywhere now. People wanted to believe she was alive, but I knew Susie was dead. Her body had been ripped to shreds. Buffy? Titan growled. I snapped out of it. I was patrolling the back end of the woods. She was ripped to shreds. Hear anything? I didn't hear her scream or anything. Like an animal. Did you smell a foreign scent? Anything? I shook my head. I couldn't stay that long. He threw his hands up and scrawled. He must have thought I was weak. If only he was there when I first laid eyes on the scene. Can I leave now? I asked in a small voice. Titan ran a hand down his face and nodded. Yes. We'll take care of things here. I stood clutching the blanket around myself. When I shifted to sound the distress call, my clothes turned to confetti. Titan marched to his desk and grabbed his keys. I stared at him. Was he leaving too? What? You think I'm going to let you walk home in the middle of the night with only a blanket on? He said. I'll be fine. Don't be ridiculous. Let's go. You can't take me home like this. My dad will flip, I mumbled. He's going to flip anyway when he hears what happened here. I tightened the blanket around my chest. I wasn't thinking straight because I imagined Titan touching me in the back of his pickup truck. Come on, Buffy. Don't make me throw you over my shoulder and carry you to my car. I let out a frustrated sigh. All right. The drive home was silent. He didn't probe. He didn't accuse me. He didn't offer sympathy or his thoughts. He let me be, which was enough. He drove up to my house. The lights in the house were off. Everyone was asleep. Good. I didn't want to explain what I had gone through again. I knew there would be more interrogation tomorrow. Buffy. I turned around to watch Titan, who leaned across the center console. Yeah? He looked like he was going to say something. Not rough and brutal like he always did, but maybe I was just imagining things. Titan leaned back and had his usual solid rock face back. I'll see you tomorrow. I nodded. He speeds away back to the base to deal with the tragedy. I waddled into the house.
Next day.
Oh, Buff, you shouldn't have come in today. Letitia wrapped me in her arms. I squeezed her back. The base was fuller than ever. The buzz was electric. What did people think happened last night? What's everyone saying? I asked. Don't pay attention to it. People are dumb. They think a monster is on the loose, Katrina said. I don't know about a monster, but something dangerous, I said. I don't think we should even be here today, Ivy said. Of all my friends, the girl with the spunky mohawk looked the most shaken. Whatever it is, we can take it. We've been training our assess off. This is our first big test. Before I could tell Katrina that the monster we're talking about ripped a general to shreds and we were just in training, Holden came and nodded for me to go into Titan's tent. His grim face turned to the rest of the lingering pack. You know the drill. I don't want to see smiles on your faces. None of you have graduated yet. Let's go. Now. I walked into Titan's tent. It had a desk and 2 chairs. He was hunched over his desk. He had his back to me, but he knew the second I entered. You wanted to see me? Take a seat. I did as he asked. Titan lowered himself to my level. He stared into my eyes and gripped the armchair of my seat. I was trapped between my chair and his chest. Didn't you know the other betas had left the forest? Of course not. I'd been walking for 2 hours. Did Susie say which route she was taking? He asked. I sighed. She might have told the other guys. She didn't speak much to me. Reason for that? I glared at him. Because he told her I was tardy. None, I replied. Buffy. His thumb caressed my bottom lip. I shivered, caught off guard. Yes? Yes? Who? Yes, Alpha? I'll know if you're lying. Then you must know I'm telling the truth. He traced the inside of my lip and I battled not to moan. Yeah, I do. I didn't know what other powers an Alpha had, but if some of them included hypnosis, then Titan was definitely putting me in a trance. I shook my head and bolted to my feet. Is that all you wanted to talk about? I told you everything yesterday? Titan straightened his spine and settled his gaze on me. Just wanted to make sure your story matches. I rolled my eyes. I didn't lie. I didn't do that either. I couldn't. He nodded slowly, but the expression on his face told me he was still pondering on something. Get out of here, Buffy. Gladly! I marched out. Everyone was on break. This time when stares were directed my way. It wasn't because of an after-sex glow. The stares held questions and fear. She found Susie, someone whispered. I didn't understand why shifters bothered to whisper. We all had heightened senses. I could hear everything they whispered. I heard it's a monster, a girl said. I hoped it wasn't a monster. I made it a mission to get home immediately after training. Titan's car was in the driveway in front of his house. The lights in his house were on. I didn't think he was going to have another party after what happened, and with rumors of a monster roaming around were spreading. I walked into my house and the sound of laughter caught me off guard. Now we were the ones having a party? I followed the sound of lighthearted conversations and laughter to the kitchen. "Dad?" I called. "Oh, Buffy. I'm sure you've met the alpha at the training camp." Titan rose from the kitchen chair, his eyes locked on me. I bit my bottom lip. What the hell was he doing sitting in my kitchen and being so comfortable with my father? A challenging smirk toyed on Titan's lips. I stared between them, wondering what they were conspiring. Did Titan come to tell my dad he had suspicions about me killing my fellow wolf? Was I being kicked out of the army? My heart slammed forward as I waited for the situation to unravel.
Chapter 12.
Alpha Titan, this is my daughter Buffy. She's among your betas. I'm sure there are many of them down at the camp. Titan's lips curved in a smile. Again, what the hell is he doing in my kitchen? My lid was boiling and my heart was racing. Titan was enjoying it. What was my father doing having whiskey with the arrogant alpha? They certainly shouldn't be laughing together. "Oh, I know, Buffy," Titan said, his face holding too much mischief for me. "Really?" Dad looked at me with a sense of pride in his pale eyes. "Yeah, we know each other," I said through gritted teeth. "Too well. I wasn't going to mention to my father that not so long ago Titan's face was between my legs. He wouldn't want him around after knowing that. Yes, Buffy's one of our outstanding betas." Now Dad was bursting with pride. His large hand landed on my shoulder and his eyes narrowed as he laughed. "That's amazing, sweetheart. Why didn't you say anything? Did you get promoted?" I grinded my teeth together. Titan was enjoying this too much. "She did. Nightly parole," Titan said. The doorbell rang, interrupting Dad before he could respond. He excused himself and left Titan and I glaring at each other in a room with knives. "What the hell are you doing here?" I growled. "You know your dad's my elder. I value his opinion." He crossed his arms over his chest, and his muscles popped out. "Sure you aren't spying on me?" Titan puffed out his cheeks. "Why would I want to? I see enough of you every day. You think I did something to Susie, don't you?" I spat. I hadn't even meant to say those words. I swallowed the lump in my throat. Titan closed the gap between us. He bore down on me, and I would be lying if I say that I didn't find it sexy. "Did you?" I opened my mouth to protest, but nothing came out. I knew I was innocent, but the close proximity between us stole the words from my mouth. He made my legs turn to jelly, and worse, a pool of moisture formed between my legs. "Well?" He cocked his head to the side. I darted away from him and yanked the fridge open and reached for a jar of water. What I really wanted was to cool down. When I turned to him, his eyes were glued on me. I could feel he wanted to say something. So did I. This tension between us was getting dangerous. When he opened his mouth to speak, Grandma shuffled in with a bunch of grocery bags. Oh my. When I heard the alpha was over, I couldn't help but cook dinner for him. Dinner? My eyes turned to saucers. "For him?" Grandma shot me dagger. "Of course," she smiled sweetly at Titan. "I would like the chance to show you our gratitude." "Ma'am, you don't have to go through the trouble." "Nonsense. I'm a great chef. Besides, a home-cooked meal is better than that fast food you're probably going to eat tonight." "Grandma, Titan probably has someone to cook for him. An Omega that keeps his bed warm at night, too." Titan grinned. "Actually, I don't. I'd love to eat your food, Mrs. King." Grandma beamed like a schoolgirl on prom night. I glared at Titan, and he only smiled back. Grandpa was too occupied with a baseball game to be of any company. Dad was busy on a phone call that had me fidgeting with my fingers and sent my heart hammering against my ribcage. Titan pulled me away from the front lawn where Dad was engaged in a tensed conversation. I could see the veins popping out of his head. He guided me to the backyard. He knew something I didn't. He wasn't just here to torment me. "What's going on, Titan?" I demanded. He let his hand slip down my back and shoved his hands in his pockets. "I thought we established titles, Buffy. This is my house, and this is my pack." I scrawled, "only because he stole it." "What's going on? If you aren't here to patronize me, then something has to be going on." He took a step closer, so close that I was able to inhale his scent, a perfect blend of nature and Armani perfume. "Do I patronize you, Buffy?" Of course you do. You come into my room uninvited. You follow me around, and now you're at my house." He shrugged and his locks fell off his shoulder. Titan's thick locks made him look like a Viking warrior. I shuddered at the thought of him shirtless in battle, wearing only a pair of shorts with his locks bouncing as he drove his sword into his opponent. But he was a wolf and didn't need a sword. Then I imagined his large frame positioning himself behind me. I was bent over, gripping the metal foot end of the bed. He asked me if I was ready, but I knew nothing would prepare me for the thick, hard monster about to plow into me. "Buffy?" He smirked. My pupils widened. "Shit. What?" I completely zoned out. "I can smell that," I scrawled. "I have no idea what you're talking about. You want me, don't you?" "Gross. Do you get horny for no reason? Because I'm the only male around here." I was never going to admit I was lusting over him. He would enjoy it too much. He would also know what happened between us at the lake was the thrill of my life. I didn't want that. I was thinking about my boyfriend. "What?" he barked. laughed. You don't have one. He chuckled. I scrawled, screw you. He's in the beta army. What did I say about fraternizing with the males? Lie. All right, shall we go inside for dinner? Dad approached us. I almost covered my mouth. I hope he hadn't heard me accuse the alpha of being a liar. We all gathered at the table. Grandma had to pry Grandpa from his game. He couldn't eat in front of the TV tonight because of our guest. I wanted to be anywhere but at the table sitting next to Titan. When I was wet for him, thankfully, he kept his hands to himself. So, Alpha? You had some news for me? Dad started. Come on, we can talk about something other than business. Grandma scolded. I agreed. It's good news, I hope. I believe your daughter has a chance of making it to the finals of the Night of Victory. With extra hard work, she would be my personal beta. I cupped my mouth to stop the cough. Titan stared at me with heated eyes. You mean that? Suddenly, it was as if we were the only ones on the table. Of course, being by my side is up to you, Buffy. Congratulations and optimism went around the table. I blurred into the background for the rest of the dinner. I walked Titan to the door, vaguely aware of his dominating presence. He caught my arm on the porch. What? You want to be a beta? It's all I've ever wanted. He straightened his back. Think you'll be able to follow the rules? I crossed my arms. Of course. I only rebel when you're being unreasonable. Titan. See, that's just it. His hand wrapped around my waist and tugged me to his solid frame. You don't get to call me Titan. My breath caught in my throat as his nose traced up my neck. His lips cast shadows on my lips, stealing my strength. Yeah? What are you going to do about it? His nails dug into my back. I want to hear you say it. You know what I mean? You're an ass. He smiled. Come on, that's an order, he said softly, his lips inches from mine. Yes, Alpha. When I thought he would kiss me the way he did by the lake, he unwrapped himself and walked away, leaving me cold on the porch.
Next day.
I skipped day training so I would be available for nightly patrol. I was shaken since the last time the beast attacked. The previous nights had been quiet. Or at least no one reported any incidents. I was lucky enough to be patrolling with Karina, so I wouldn't have to worry about the guys ditching me again. It was a cloudy night, so we would have much aid from the moon. It was a small group of 2 girls and 2 guys this time, and we had split up. These woods are so predictable. If there is something prowling around, then we should be able to catch its scent, Karina said. I honestly don't want to look for it. Don't be such a baby, Buffy. We're bound to see worse things after training. She was right, but she didn't see what I saw. Katrina was toned and a skilled warrior. It wasn't surprising that she wanted to run in the face of danger. Did you hear that? Katrina jumped. I jumped too, but not in anticipation. It was out of fright, and I hadn't heard a thing. Katrina... Nothing's out here, my voice echoed. She remained alert. No, she darted off into the trees. She was gone before I could think. I ran after her, but came to a grounding halt after a vicious growl ripped through the night, followed by a feminine scream that curdled my blood. Katrina bellowed for help. At the same time, a bark from hell yelled at her. My feet glued themselves to the ground. My friend was being attacked. This was what I feared would happen. I escaped the monster the first time. Would I come out clean this time?
Chapter 13.
I shook off the fear and ran, summoning my wolf's strength to help me zip through the trees. When I came to a cliff, Katrina was on the ground, bleeding out, and a beast with blood-red eyes hovered over her. Its mouth was stained with blood. Oh boy, I whispered. The beast laid its eyes on me. Help me! Katrina begged. I didn't know how, but I wouldn't leave her. The wolf had no fur, just black coal skin. It was tall and long. It almost looked like a demon hound, and those were rare and difficult to kill. They were shifters, too. Those that had lost touch with their human side. This one was hungry. He barked at me. I looked around for a weapon, but all I saw was blood in the bushes and pieces of clothing on the ground. I shifted to my wolf and the beast dove at me. Before it pounced on me, I sent out a distress call for the second time that week. The wolf's skinny body tackled me to the ground. Its sharp teeth sunk into my abdomen. I sent out another distress call. Someone better hear me or else I'm a goner. Dad couldn't lose someone else. The beast raved and barked before he darted across Katrina and jumped off the cliff. I shifted back to human form and screamed. The wound on my side gushed out blood. A few feet away, Katrina was whimpering. If I didn't get it together, I would lose her too. I held my wound and staggered to where Katrina was. She had multiple claw marks on her chest and wounds on her legs. You have to get up, Katrina. It might come up again, I said, looping my arm under her arms. I tried to save them. It was too fast. It's okay. We have to get you out of here. You're hurt too. It burned like fire, but I pressed on, or else we would both perish out here. No one heard my distress call. A couple of minutes into dragging our bodies through the woods, and I was ready to fall apart. Katrina was losing a lot of blood. I feared she would pass out on me any second. Just leave, her voice broke. You're crazy. Just a couple more miles and don't fall asleep, I ordered. Buffy, it could come back. This time her voice was strong, and I sensed the fear in it, which is why we have to keep going. I can't. The sound of paws hitting the ground paralyzed us. 4 black wolves raced at us. The one ahead of the 3 was 2 times bigger. They shifted into men when they got within inches of us. Take her! Titan ordered. Katrina was carried and rushed back to base. Holden, Titan and another shifter turned back to wolves and raced in different directions. My legs gave out. Titan caught me before I hit the ground. Hey! I'm so tired, I whispered. You're hurt, Buffy. I know. I winced. I didn't think anyone would come. It's okay. You're going to be fine. I looked at the blood trailing down my legs. I couldn't imagine how Katrina was doing. Titan picked me up and held me to his chest. Trust me, I drifted in and out of consciousness. Titan wasn't gracious on his feet, so the travel to our destination wasn't comfortable. I was shocked awake when cold water hit my feet. Hey, good. What are you doing? Dipping you in the lake under the moonlight. You're not healing on your own. This will help. What about Katrina? Titan dipped me into the water until it was up to my armpits. He climbed behind me and pulled me to his chest. She'll be fine. They have everything they need on base. Why didn't you take me there? He stroked my hair. You talk too much, Buffy. I frowned and snuggled into him. He responded by wrapping his arm around me. Only this once would I let this happen after I had almost been killed by a monster. Yes, the pack was being haunted by a horrible monster. Exhaustion was crushing me. I felt my wound heal in the water, but my body was tired. I didn't know how far I dragged Katrina, but it felt like all the way to another neighborhood. Do you believe me now? I whispered. About what, Buffy? He half-stroked my hair and ear. About having nothing to do with what happened last time. I always believed you. The only time I didn't is when you told me you had a boyfriend. I puffed. I do too. You just don't know him. My eyelids were heavy. Even talking took too much of my energy. Titan continued to stroke my hair. The warmth coming from him was enough to ease my soul. It almost felt like energy passed between us, and he was giving my body strength. How could that be possible? Get some rest.
Next day.
A door slammed and I winced. I pulled the blanket over my head. Blanket? My eyes popped out. I didn't own black satin sheets or satin covers. I sat up. Good morning. Titan pulled a white shirt over his head. Titan? I scurried backward and hit the headboard. I looked around, and what I noticed first was I was wearing his blue button shirt. Buffy, what am I doing here? Did you bring me back here? He puffed out his cheeks and rolled his eyes. I couldn't take you back home. Why not? I pulled the covers to my chest, even though he had seen me naked last night and that other time. This felt weird. I had never slept over at a guy's house before, apart from with Jamie. And that felt like an eternity ago, because I couldn't return you to your father naked and with bruises. I looked down at my abdomen. All that was left of the nasty bite was a purple bruise. Your father might work for me, but that doesn't mean he wouldn't try to kill me if I returned his daughter naked and unconscious. Yeah, you're right. I need to get home. Hey, no rush and have breakfast. You cook? He nodded. Edible food? Poisoning you would be a lot more fun. You know that, Buffy? I giggled. I'm intrigued. I jumped out of bed a little too eagerly, forgetting I had no pants or underwear on. Titan simply walked out without making a big deal out of it. I followed his lead. Titan had a clean house for a bachelor. So, do you know what type of wolf it was? Almost looked like a demon hound. I asked. Hybrid, he replied.
Chapter 14.
Shivers ran through me. What kind of hybrid wolf is that? Titan shrugged as he gathered plates and cutlery. A dangerous one. Could be part demon hound. If those weren't extremely rare, is there anything here that a hybrid wolf would want? I asked. Titan puffed out his cheeks. I don't know, Princess. There must be, or else it wouldn't be gathering its strength. Have you known this entire time? I fiddled with my fingers. Look at me. I did. His eyes were cool and his features were hard. I wouldn't endanger you or anyone else in the pack. I wasn't sure what we were dealing with. I nodded, still a little shaken. Now we knew this thing had a hunting ground. I never wanted to lay eyes on it again. I won't let it hurt you again, or anyone else, as a matter of fact. We dropped the subject, which was fine with me. Titan placed a plate of full English breakfast. I looked at the man in front of me and the food before me. None of it was burnt or raw, as it seemed. Who made this? He crossed his arms over his chest. Is it so hard to believe I can cook? Not when I know you could have an Omega around. He smirked. I do. Doesn't mean I can't cook for myself. It stung a little to know Titan had an Omega, probably several. Most single alphas had them around. It wasn't a surprise. It shouldn't hurt anyway. I reminded myself that I barely tolerated him. He did save my life, though. So, where is she? I asked. Titan settled on the seat in front of me and stuffed a fork full in his mouth. Does it matter? Sort of. He chuckled. Why? My cheeks heated up. No, it didn't matter that he had an Omega. I should have said that first. All alphas had one. I grimaced. If I married Jamie, did it mean he was going to take an Omega? Oh, how had I never thought about that? The downside of mating with an alpha. I shook my head. No. Of course it doesn't matter. You can have as many concubines as you want. I mentally slapped myself. The last part was not necessary. Titan barked out a laugh. What? Does it make you uncomfortable that I have an Omega or several? I rolled my eyes. I told you I have a boyfriend. We both have someone to keep our beds warm. That's true for only one of us, Buffy. My blood boiled. He was insufferable. We ate the rest of our meals in silence, or else I would have ended up hurling something at his head.
Next day.
Did you really see it? Letitia asked. I bobbed my head. It was horrifying. Ivy shuddered. How can you still come back here? I didn't know. We walked into the infirmary. Katrina was the only one in the massive tent. The marks on her face have faded, leaving behind tiny black scars. She smiled when she saw us. Hey, guys! Her voice came out strained and husky. I'm glad you both came out alive. You're not going back to nightly patrol. Are you? Letitia asked. No way. Of course, Katrina said. We gawked at Katrina. Are you insane? I asked. I won't let it get away with everything it's doing. It could have taken my life. I want revenge. It nearly took my life, but I wasn't going to go after it, especially when I knew creatures like that didn't just die by snapping their necks. Maybe I was just too much of a coward. Katrina, you can't be— There you are! Rowan kicked the tent door open and stormed to us. Me? I asked, taking a step back. Rowan marched up to me, but the girls moved close to me, so he backed up. Coincidence? I don't think so. Rowan spat. His hair was standing and his eyes were wild. Hey, what's your head? High on wolf hormones or what? Ivy frowned. The second attack and you happen to be there too? I'm not buying that as just dumb luck. What? I gasped. What are you saying? What's the matter with you? You wanted her to die out there? Letitia yelled. You couldn't possibly think you're in league with that creature. I do. Nothing surprises me these days. I scrawled. It attacked me too. The only reason I'm standing is— I wasn't going to admit it was because of Titan. We got lucky, I said after clearing my throat. I survived too. Am I in league with the creature? Katrina asked. Rowan cleared at the four of us before he stormed out of the tent. What's his deal? Letitia asked. He's upset about losing his sister. That's all. I honestly didn't expect that to happen. I thought Rowan and I had gotten along pretty well. Doesn't give him the right to go around accusing people. Letitia puffed. The nerve of that guy? Ivy puffed. I tried to convince myself that he was hurting from his sister's demise and needed someone to blame, and unfortunately, that had to be me. I'll see you later, guys, I said. Buffy, Letitia sighed. Don't let him get to you, girl. I'm fine, guys. I just need a minute. The last place I wanted to set foot was between the trees, but under the protection of the sun, where no creature from darkness could ever stand. I felt safe enough to venture within. I found myself at the lake. A swim would be nice, but I feared getting caught skinny dipping a second time, so I just dipped my toes in the water. What kind of a creature leaves no scent? I asked myself. There was nothing foreign last night. Could the creature be one of us? A twig snapped behind me and I jumped to my feet. Whoa, hold up! I stumbled back. You? What are you doing here? Adrenaline kicked in. The guy in front of me held his hands up in surrender, but the smile on his face said he didn't come here for peace. Jamie?
Chapter 15.
What do you want here? I demanded. He put his hands down. I wanted to check up on you. Are you kidding me? Can we just talk, Buffy? He said, after a sigh. I stepped out of the water. I nearly tumbled over and landed straight at the shallow end. It had been over a year since the ball, the rejection, since I last spoke to him. I had not seen him around base. It was like looking at a ghost. Oddly, my wolf perked up. She had been dormant for a while. I hammered her down. I didn't want her getting her hopes up. This wasn't our Jamie. Apparently, he never was. He had changed. He wasn't the little kid I knew anymore. He bulked up. He had scars and darker spiky hair. What's there to talk about, Jamie? I heard what happened. I know it was bad. I'm fine, I said through gritted teeth. I can see that. We've been through a lot. I was worried when I heard you were attacked, I whispered to myself. Been through a lot? I'm fine. You can leave now. I wasn't going to turn my back on a snake. I wanted to see him slither away. Instead, he took a step forward. My heart slammed forward and my wolf danced in excitement. I did my best to trample on her joy. I know I hurt you. You didn't! You can't hurt me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need some peace and quiet. I didn't, Buffy. Then why did you leave? He was inches away from me. I laughed, cynically. I have other things to do. My world didn't and doesn't revolve around you. His brows furrowed. I know it did. Pathetic. It was pathetic because it was true. When he rejected me, it drove me away from my own pack and sent my wolf into a dormant state. Gia, my wolf, still went dormant from time to time. He shoved his arms in his pockets. His muscles relaxed, and I was able to see a distinct tattoo on the inside of his arm. A double W? West Wolves? I asked. Jamie glanced at the tattoo. Yeah, what's wrong? I scrawled, they're hooligans. He frowned. Those are my wolves. Yours? Meaning you started it? He shrugged. Yeah, what? I couldn't believe him. All you do is cause trouble. Time to grow up. Don't you think, Jamie? I'm not going to make it easy for him. He stole my pack. I rolled my eyes. I wasn't getting into the conversation with him. I didn't believe Jamie was capable of running a pack, and Titan proved to be ruling just fine. You should go, I said softly. Buffy. He reached for my cheek. My eyes went wide. I grabbed his wrist, twisted it, and aimed for his shin. He groaned and buckled forward. I grabbed his back and tossed him into the water. Ugh, fuck, Buffy. He splashed water at me. You should have left when you had the chance. He stared at me as if I was a foreign creature. I grabbed my shoes and bolted out of there. Grandma and Grandpa left to go visit their cousins in a little town called Scarlet. They were supposed to be gone for 3 weeks. When I walked into the house at around 3 in the afternoon, it was quieter than usual. The curtains were drawn. TV was off. Dad's car wasn't parked in the driveway. I fished out my phone. I found a text from him. Last minute trip. We'll be back in a couple days. I asked if it was an emergency, but he said he would explain when he was back. I grabbed a couple snacks and marched to my room. I changed into some comfortable sweatpants and sat on my window bench with my laptop. My window was opposite a room in Titan's house. Couldn't tell if it was his or just a guest room. I didn't want to think about Titan or Jamie, especially Jamie. My wolf had gone quiet again, but this time it felt weak. She would get over it like she always did. Still, I couldn't help feeling a bit uneasy. I tried to focus on the comedy playing on the screen. Then my mind wandered to Titan, the Viking wolf. The mysterious tattoos on his body just added to the allure. I would never allow myself to admit that I found him attractive. He ruined my fantasy last night. I would die of mortification if he found out I fantasized about him. I moaned slightly. The tender area between my legs ached when I thought about myself hunched over the bed, gripping the metal foot end, ready to be penetrated and destroyed by an alpha wolf of high caliber. I can't do this anymore. I paused the movie and stood. I was alone after all. I pulled down my sweatpants. I didn't need to lock the doors. I settled on the window bench, leaving my hoodie on. I was too high up for anyone below to see me. I spread my legs and moaned. I needed relief, or I needed Titan to disappear. I pushed my underwear aside and ran my fingers down my clit. I whispered, "Oh my gosh." It was swollen. Every touch was sweet torture. I'd never been able to properly finger myself, though I was desperate to do it now. I was so wet I was even dripping. I should have moved to the bed, but the thrill of doing it by the window and with my handsome neighbor potentially watching turned me on. Even though I knew Titan wasn't home, someone cleared their throat. My eyes and mouth popped open. I shut my legs and sat straight up. "Shit, Titan, what are you doing in my house?" He leaned against the door and smirked. "Your dad said I was welcome anytime?" "Yeah, but not to watch me." "If you didn't want me to watch you, Buffy, you shouldn't have been giving me a show outside my bedroom window." He pointed at his window. "That's your room?" He nodded. "So, did you come here to tell me to stop?" How embarrassing. He took a step forward. "I actually came to help. You clearly haven't learned a thing from the last time." I bit my bottom lip. "Or do you want me to leave? Because I'll go, if you want me to." I don't want that." He kicked the door shut and crossed the room. He picked me up and wrapped my legs around his waist. "I'm going to explode." "Titan," I said against his shoulder. "Not yet, Buffy." He laid me on the bed and spread my legs open. His hand traveled under my hoodie and squeezed my hard nipple. I screamed in pleasure. Thankfully, no one was home. His hand abandoned my breast quickly and moved down to massage my clit. "Keep them open, Buffy." I shut my eyes and felt the orgasm come. Titan stroked my clit a few times and I exploded. I arched my back and panted until my orgasm left. Titan waited until I relaxed before he slid one finger inside me. I gripped his tattooed arm as his finger plowed in and out of me, bringing me closer and closer to my second orgasm. His mouth found the base of my neck. He nibbled on the skin there as another orgasm wrecked me. I ran my fingers through his locks. If only he knew how much he turned me on. This wasn't enough. I wanted him inside me. I wanted him on top of me and inside me, crushing me with his weight. When another orgasm hit me, I trembled and panted loudly. Titan rolled on his back and pulled out his fingers from inside me. I looked at him, but he was staring at the ceiling. "Are you going to do it right next time?" he asked. "I might need another lesson."